If you've ever struggled to write your newsletter, do any research for it, or put it together, I've created this automation that's going to help you. It's going to look at YouTube, it's going to look at Twitter, and do some online research, pull it all together, and it'll even create a draft ready for you to send off to your members. I'm going to be sharing this workflow with you for free so you can download it and run it yourself and see the results. Here's some examples of newsletters that I've drafted. The first one is for coaching, the second one is for AI, and the third is for side hustles. As you can see, it's got the headings, it's got links, and it's ready to go right from your inbox. It's all concise, and this is all the most latest information. So let's go through it. All you have to do is pick a topic like side hustles, hit enter, and the whole thing will start running. So let's start from scratch and create it for ourselves. The best part of this is that if you like the YouTube scraper, Twitter scraper, or the research part, you can take any one of those components and make it your own. The first thing we're doing is getting a chat node, and this is going to allow us to type in a keyword and get the whole workflow going. Next, we're going to get a HTTP request, and this is going to be our YouTube scraper. It's going to be a post first because we're sending it to Apify. Apify is going to be our actor. I'm going to find a YouTube scraper there and then pull back the data. Now the YouTube scraper I'm going to use is called Streamers Scraper, and the way this works is that you look at the input, this is how it's going to scrape it, and then we just copy the JSON once we get it set up. You can make some tweaks by going through these fields. Now I've already got my JSON command. You can just copy it when you want to create your own. Paste this in. We're looking at a filter for the month. I've got 10 results max. They can be shorts as well, but you can tweak these as you like. I've got it in subtitles English, and the input is coming from the chat node. Now I just got to grab the endpoint for this. The endpoint, so we go down here to endpoint, and then we want to copy this line, run actor synchronously, and get dataset items. So let's click on that, paste that in here. It's going to have your API key, so let's go to the next step, which is a loop. Now what this loop will do is we're going to get a list of YouTube videos and we want to scrape each one individually. This function is going to pull out each line and then get the transcript for each video. I've got some JavaScript because the way that this function works is it pulls line by line, and this code is just going to combine it all together. Next we're going to need an AI agent to summarize the transcript. That way it's easier for our AI model to draft the newsletter because it doesn't have to go through whole transcripts. We're going to go define below, and we're just going to paste in a prompt. Plus this right here are the keywords coming from our chat function, so this is going to be the topic for our newsletter. And for the chat model, I like to use OpenRouter because it gives us access to a whole bunch of different AI models. In here I'm going to use GPT-4 because it's a quick summary. And just correcting myself here, this is actually coming from the done section. We're going to loop around to get each transcript. So we need an HTTP request. So let me just clarify that this is going to get our videos and this one is going to get our transcripts. So let's go YouTube transcripts. And we're going to use the Pin Studio scraper. So again, I'm just going to paste my JSON script, and this URL is coming from our scraper just before. Now I'm going to get the endpoints for this actor. It's the third one down. Let's copy this, paste this up here, and this loop should be good to go. I'll just do some cleaning up, and we've got our first leg. This does the YouTube scraping. Next, we're going to get our Twitter scraper. So let's do another HTTP request. This time we're going Twitter scraper PPR. This is by Danik. So let's grab this one. You can customize the JSON script, but I've got one here that you can just copy. So this is going to be another JSON here. I paste this script here. So we're looking in the United States because you can actually get international scripts that don't help you. We're looking for 20 posts, and they're going to be the latest posts. And again, we're putting in our keywords from our text chat. I'm going to grab the endpoints. Third one down. Let's copy this, paste it in. And again, we've got a little node here for the code just to clean it up. And you can just use the JavaScript straight from this file. And now we're going to do a merge that combines the data from YouTube and Twitter. Just connect these up. I'm just going to rename this to Twitter so it's easy to remember. I'm going to name this one YouTube. YouTube. Okay, so we've got our YouTube leg, we've got our Twitter leg, and now we're going to do our online research. For the research, I'm going to be using a node called Tavali. Just like this, and it's going to be doing a search. If I put in side hustles and just stop it, now you can see the chat inputs come in, so I'll just put that in a query here, which is ready to go. Now we'll do another merge to combine this together. We're just going to change these legs. So now we've got the three legs. We've got YouTube, we've got Twitter, we've We've got the online research. Now this newsletter is going to be geared more around business because we're going to tweak the messaging to be that way, but feel free to change that later on. So I'm going to try copywriting because that's something that's blowing up recently. Let's give it a shot. So now you can see it's doing research for YouTube videos. While waiting, make sure to give this video a like. It helps my workflow to know that you're a human. And right now you can see it's done our loop. It's passed through our little code in JavaScript. It's now summarizing the text using GPT-4 Mini. And then we're going to merge. Hopefully it's going to work through Twitter and then do the research. So like I said at the beginning of the video, you can take any part of this workflow and make it your own. Not many people use this social media site as scraping. So if you like just that part, you can find all the latest videos just using that section. If you like the research part, you can use that. If you like the AI part to help you draft a newsletter, you can use that. This is literally your workflow to do whatever you like with. So now we're doing a Twitter scrape, doing our research, and now it's all going to merge together. Now one of the issues that I've seen come from these actors from Apify is that they still pull in different languages even though you specifically ask for English or come from the United States. Sometimes I actually don't want 30 different items coming from a node. I actually want it to combine all together. So what we're going to do is we're going to aggregate them all together. We're going to go all data into a single list. That looks good. One of the great things about these new models of AI is they can sift through large amounts of data and then pull out the information that they actually need. So I'll admit that this is a bit of a messy way to send the data over, but you'll see that it still works. Now for this next section, the way we're going to break it up is we're going to have two agents. One is going to do the writing and the planning, and then the other agent is going to do the editing. So let's set that up. So I'm going to call this my planning and writing agent. While we're here, I'm just going to pin the results that we've got. So we're going to use Open Router again because it's really easy to change models from here. This time we're using a more powerful model for the planning and the writing. We're going to use GPT-5. So I'm going to put in my system message. I just created this through ChatGPT. Paste it in, you can just copy the one that I created, saying things like you're an expert newsletter writer, your task is to create a professional, engaging, value-packed newsletter. Here, this is just pulling from the aggregator from the previous step. And next, this is our editor agent. We're going to add this in, call it our editor agent. It's going to get the output from the previous node. And then I'm just going to copy my system message that I created also with ChatGPT. The prompt is telling it that it's a professional newsletter editor this time. It's going to take the previous output and it's going to transform it into a nice newsletter. A couple goals here and structure to make it HTML friendly. You can read through that in more detail if you like. Here we're going to use Open Router again. We want ChatGPT 5 because this is going to be another complicated step. And we're going to turn on require specific output because we want an output that's going to have a title and then the contents. We got a structured output parser. I'm going to change it from generate to define using JSON schema. I'm then going to copy an output that you can just paste in here. The final step is creating a draft for Gmail, so let's do that. We want create a draft. And in here, I've already set up my Gmail account. Now, if you're hosting n8n on your own server and you keep running into issues about connection, which I did, I couldn't find anything online, but for whatever reason, hosting is really dropping the ball and I just could not connect. I found out later it's actually my ISP. I went to Railway and I had no problems at all. So just keep in mind, I couldn't really find this online, but if you do have problems connecting to the API through Google, double check and you can try a different platform. That's what I did and it just worked straight away. I'll execute this just to see if it's working correctly. I'm also starting to run a little low on credit, so I might have to renew. So I'm just going to restart. Let's do copywriting again. Now something that I'm still adjusting to is when you create these long workflows, it's actually really easy to start to get distracted going to YouTube or checking out your phone, whatever it is. So make sure that when you're doing this kind of stuff that you've got something productive to do in the downtime because it's really easy to lose track, go off. I don't know if I've got ADHD, but I just tend to look at something and I'll completely forget about this workflow, come back an hour later. So just make sure that when you're doing this stuff, it does take a little bit of time, so just make sure you stay productive. I'm going to pin this aggregated. It's now planning and writing the newsletter. Hopefully that works. It's then going to pass over to the editor agent that's going to edit it and create us a draft. Our planning and writing agent seemed to work. I'm going to execute this step. Now our editor agent has drafted an email. Let's hook up the subject, let's hook up the content. All right, for whatever reason our JSON output didn't work, so I'm just gonna do it again. Let's chuck that in and let's try. Gotta unpin and test it. Realize that you gotta update the email type to HTML. Let's try it one more time. Let's pin this time because I missed doing that last time. Now I'm gonna execute this step. Okay, looking at this output, it looks like we've got it right this time. Let's fix up our JSON so that it ties in with Gmail. I'm going to pin this step so we don't have to do it again. Let's run this. And look at that, we've got a copywriting newsletter. It's got links here, it's got titles, it's the full package, and it's done within a couple minutes. You don't even have to do anything yourself. Now feel free to edit it as you like, but this is based on research it's done from YouTube, from Twitter, and the internet. So this is really new work. It would have taken you a couple hours to put this together, and it's done within a couple minutes, so you can thank me later. So this is the newsletter automation system. Feel free to download in the description below. I'm also gearing up to start an AI community, so I'm really excited to launch that soon. Make sure you join the form below. I'll have a new video next week I'm really excited to share with you. Until next week, have a good one, and cheers.